Hello everybody, today we are going to be discussing water. It is extremely important. As everybody knows, you're supposed to drink water every day. It helps with your body in a plethora of ways, and so we're going to discuss some of that today. Water is extremely important. Water is referred to by a plethora of names. Most commonly, people just call it water. It can also be called H2O or aqua. Some people refer to it as the thirst quencher or the wet stuff if they are speaking in slang, but one I found particularly interesting was that some people refer to it as Adam's ale, and this comes from the fact that Adam from the Bible was only able to drink water because that's all there was, so Adam's ale. And that comes from thesaurus.com. And this here is a diagram of an actual water molecule, which as you can see is composed of two hydrogen atoms that are covalently bonded to an oxygen atom. This is a pretty strong bond, but it also allows for the two hydrogen atoms to make bonds with other molecules, whether that be other water molecules or any other molecule that they bond with. Water has many important functions. Some of these functions are well known, some need a little bit more deductive reasoning to get behind the actual function. So some of the functions are that it regulates your body temperature, and it does this through sweating. When you get too hot, you start to sweat, and then that evaporates off of you, which helps to cool you down. It also expels waste, which is done through defecation or more commonly urination. It also helps to lubricate, which ties in nicely with being a shock absorber. This can mean in your spinal cord, in your central nervous system, or it can also mean in your joints, like your synovial fluid. That is made up of water. Water also makes up a big component of your tears, your mucus, your saliva, and it also protects the vital organs and tissues that are in your body. Water also helps support your cellular structure. When your cells have water, they're nice and plump and round. When they do not have water, they become dehydrated, so they shrink and shrivel, and nobody wants that. They also help to transport your oxygen and your carbohydrates and your proteins through your blood so that they can get from point A to point B wherever they need to be. There is a general target for how much water a person should consume per day. Now these numbers change depending on which source you use, but they tend to be within the same ballpark of each other. So I have a few examples here. According to the Mayo Clinic, women should drink 11.5 cups of water per day, whereas men have slightly larger water intake of 15.5 cups per day, and that's generally due to the fact that men are usually larger in size, so they have more body mass that they need to get the water to. Children ages 4 to 13 should use 1.5 liters, and this comes from an osmosis video, and it also shares that adults should have 2 liters. Now, Water Science School says that a slightly larger number, men should have 3 liters and women should have 2.2 liters. So it's generally around that 2 to 3 liter mark, but it changes, and that also changes whether you are in a warmer climate. So that would mean you would need to drink more water because your body becomes dehydrated more quickly by sweating and things of that nature. To some people, that might be an exuberant amount of water to drink per day. I know me, I don't like to drink water, so drinking that much is a challenge for me. I have to set goals to meet every day so that I can continue to do that. But you don't have to just drink water, and that's the only way that you can get water. Water comes from the other fluids that you drink throughout the day and also from the foods that you eat. Dubovec McKenney and Osmosis say that 80% of the water intake comes from the fluids that you drink, but another 20% comes from the foods that you eat. So some examples that you can get fluid-wise from water are water, soda, juice, teas, and sports drinks. Some of those might be a little bit more easier for people to drink a lot of, but then you have the added sugars and things such as that. That's why water is typically the best. Food-wise, there are many fruits that have most of their content being water. One of the best examples of that is watermelon. Everybody knows that watermelon is about 90% water, hence the name watermelon. You can also get it from things like yogurts, cheeses, like cottage cheese, soup. Soup is a great example. Cucumbers, oranges, and peaches. There are many effects from not getting enough water. The most common is dehydration. How does that present? You're thirsty, your mouth gets dry, your eyes feel dry, a lot of mucous membranes get dry, makes you a little uncomfortable. You also get fatigue, so you're really tired. Your body doesn't have enough water to make you want to get up and go. You also get lightheaded, and your urine can become darkened. Now, 4% water loss is when dehydration begins. But at a loss of 2% of your body weight, you can get irritable, you have reduced concentration or inability to concentrate, and you also get headaches. If you lose 15%, that is super dangerous and you can die. It can become fatal at that point. So you need to seek immediately medical attention if you begin to get dehydrated and you notice those symptoms starting to occur. As a population in the United States tend to have specific choices of what we drink, which affects our body because we need water. If we don't have enough, or if we have too much, that affects how our body functions. So the sodas, juices, sports drinks, and teas, even though those have water in them, they aren't as good for you as just plain water because they have less water when compared to the amount of water. This has a negative impact on your body. Less water means that your oxygen and your carbohydrates and your proteins aren't getting transported properly or as quickly as you need them. That also means that your mucous membranes become dry and your cells get dehydrated. When you drink enough water, the exact opposite happens. Your cells are well hydrated, you have moist mucous membranes, and you have your water transporting your proteins and carbohydrates and oxygen promptly and getting them to where they need to go. So drinking water is very important, but you need to get it wherever you can. And without any of these resources, I would not be able to have made this video, so thank you to all of them. And have a great day, guys.